Welcome back, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. This week's project is a square plate made from cherry. First things first, this week I have to apologize to all my loyal subscribers. I had to abandon you for a couple of months due to some unforeseen health issues, but as of right now I should be back fully and ready to go. So thank you very much for sticking with me. I appreciate it. Alright, on to the fun stuff. I've seen the square plate done by several people, and I thought, what the heck, I'll give it a shot. This one's a pretty straightforward turn as long as you are mindful of where your fingers are at all times. In this scene, I'm just using the parting tool and scraper to form out the mortise for the chuck, and then I'm forming what will be the foot of the plate. Right here, I'm demonstrating what I consider to be one of the most difficult parts of the turn. Out here cutting along the sharp edges of the plate. But I'm just taking light cuts, and as I mentioned before, just being extra mindful of where my hands are at all times so that I maintain some semblance of safety. Then I wind up with all of my fingers intact. And here I'm just using a scraper to kind of even out any tool marks that might remain. As you can well imagine, there is a lot of sanding without the lathe going on this one. If you're really careful and don't press too hard, you can get away with the lathe going really slowly. I have the video sped up quite a bit on this, but I think I only had the lathe going at approximately 200 or 300 RPM while I was sanding. And since this is my first project back, I may or may not have forgotten to put on some denatured alcohol and sanding sealer on this and skipped right to the Yorkshire Grit, so whoopsie. Alright, we got the plate flipped around now and working on the inside of it. And here I'm just taking light cuts, working towards the edge, just kind of evening out the surface. For this plate, I'm working from the outside in, working on the rim of the plate, making sure that the rim is equal thickness throughout, and then I maintain the meat of the plate for the inside so that I have something to work with as I go along. And here I'm just taking light cuts as I go, especially around the edges. And then once I get more towards the middle of the plate, I can start taking off a little bit more at a time. While I'm finishing up the center of the plate, just a reminder that I'm always open for a sticker swap. My email is down below, and my address is listed in the About section of my YouTube channel. Alright, just a few more light cuts here to even everything out, and then I'm on to the scraper. Wish me luck. I don't know about anyone else that's done a square plate, but for me this was the most nerve-wracking part of the whole project. Firstly, I'm not extremely confident in my scraper skills quite yet, and working with these sharp edges with the scraper was terrifying. But alas, we made it. So on to sanding. And then this time I remembered the denatured alcohol and the sanding sealer. And then, of course, the Yorkshire Grit. And the Yorkshire Grit Microfine. And then I decided to finish this one up with a little walnut oil. And there you have it, a square plate. Guys, this one was way fun to make, and I highly recommend it if you haven't tried it. It's a little challenging at times, but it's so worth it. Once again, a huge shout out to my subscribers. Thanks so much for sticking with me. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Please comment below and let me know what you think. Be sure to keep those stickers coming. Stay awesome, everyone. Love to all.